Well, Darryl, nearly but not quite. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, I just thought we were pretty poor first half. I thought Leeds obviously came with a fair bit of intent about them, and I just don't think we matched that, to be honest. Conceded a pretty sloppy try on the back of just defending backwards, to be honest. I just thought it was too quick, the game, for us, for any team really, to defend at that intensity is tough. So yeah, and then we get into good attacking position and we put the ball down. I just felt that was the story really. Caius puts the ball down on halfway, and they, I just think you can't, when they're playing hot, Leeds, they're pretty hot, and they're playing touch and pass almost. So that was the first half. The second half, I didn't think he was like us. I said to the boys at half time, I don't think this is like the team that I know we are. And I thought we did some real simple things in the second half that got us a bit of ascendancy, and I thought we were by far the better team in the second half. But we couldn't quite at the end there get over the line. We had a couple of opportunities, and we were a little bit scratchy and couldn't quite execute. The team's doing a great job at the minute. I reckon if Truey's out there, it's a different outcome, but he's not, and that's the way it is. The boys have been class. I just think the second half showed what we're about, and we're not going away. I think you can see that. So we've got some real tough games coming up, and I think we'll learn quite a lot from the game, to be honest. So we're looking forward to a bit of a breather for the boys this week, and then we crack on. We've got a real tough block of games this week. Lee this month. Sorry, we've got Lee, OKR, Wigan. So it's tough comp.
I was going to ask you about the absentees, because you're working with a lengthy injury list. Is this the first game that you've really seen that the injury list has impacted performance, would you say?
I don't know, because the second half, if we play like we did in the second half, first half, who knows? Games are games. They all flow differently, but it's. I don't know. At some point, you're going. We aren't really deep at the moment. I'm picking from the same block of players, and it's putting stress on quite a few boys. But like I say, we get a week off this week, so we'll freshen up a bit. But we've got a few, 3-monthers. We've been pretty unlucky with some of them, so that's pretty tough. But I think we're in a great place. We're super competitive every week, and that could have easily gone. I think pretty much all the games apart from the Saints games could have gone either way. So we know we need to improve to win games like that, and I'm confident we will.
Your edge defence, your edge attack, which has troubled so many teams this season, didn't quite get to work today. Is that more about the Rhinos' defensive effort? Yeah,
a little bit of both. I thought we were a little bit clunky, to be honest. I don't think we. But they're the best team on the line. They do some things with single marker on try line, and they're pretty good at keeping teams out. And I think we're obviously with our combinations are a little bit different. Rocky's been class. Some of the things that he does, Max is not quite as good at, and then Max is a little bit quicker than him and executes a little bit sharper, maybe out the back. But it's what it is. We've got what we've got. Boys doing a class job. Everybody's going to have injuries, and I think like I say, Rocky's been class for us. So I'm not having a pop at anybody. I just think. We're going to get better. We're just going to get better through the season, and we're on a great path at the moment. Win or lose today, I thought Leeds were clinging on at the end, to be honest, and they'll feel like they've been in a game, which they should do.
Is that how you felt at the end? Were you feeling disappointed that you didn't come away with a win?
Yeah, I thought we could have easily won that game. But we needed one more score. Max's goal kicking's class. At the end of the day, his 2 penalties decide the game. And that's the way it is sometimes.
First half cost you then, in summary, not quite on point by your standards. Some errors, some decisions maybe that didn't go your way, and some injuries created some disruption.
I just thought first half sort of decided the game really, didn't it? Because we couldn't reel it back in. And a little bits of discipline. We conceded a couple of penalties, which get them points, and ultimately that's the difference. But I'm pretty proud of the courage that we showed. I thought that's if you look at a rugby league team and some of the things that are important to a rugby league team, then I think we've got pretty much all of them in place. So yeah, obviously tough to take, but we can't play like that in half of football against the better teams and expect to win. I think that's something that we'll learn from today.
How's Seth Darrell came off in that first half, didn't
he? Yeah, he got an head knock, but then he was all right to go back on. I never felt he was at his best after he went back on. So, and Cam's an option there. So, but he's fine.
You've won here once already this season, and you've run them incredibly close another time. I think it's a measure of how far you've come in a short space of time, isn't it? You can come to places like this and not only trouble teams but get results. Yeah, I think so. I think the second half in particular, I just felt like we just went toe to toe with their middle unit, and I thought we came out on top. But yeah, I think we're growing all the time, and I think it's kind of been a sort of a coaching job to get the boys to believe how good they can be. But I think every passing week they're starting to grow a little bit more confidence, and today was another tick in some boxes. Whilst we know we need to be better in areas, then I thought it was great what we did in the second half. I just thought, I asked the boys then, did it surprise them really, the heat, the intensity, because there's a lot of emotion out there today, for all sorts of different reasons, and we discussed it. I just don't think we handled it. Sometimes you get out there, it's like, we've got quite a lot of players who are dropping into new situations all the time. People like Seth, for example, Caius, you're playing in a fair bit of heat there, in a real hostile environment, and the lessons are there that'll make them better players, which then makes us a better team. As you say, he's stretched at the minute. Is it too early to say if you can get anyone back for Lee in a fortnight?
Oh yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, Doyley's not too far away. I'm not sure about Trui yet, where he'll be at. We've got a couple of weeks, so we'll wait and see. But we're not getting people like Renaud Fatoni, Caleb Bueli, Kai Rodwell, Matty Staunton. If we're not getting them boys back anytime soon, so we've got a decent list when you look at that, and it's Ollie Russell, 2 halves and 5 or 6 forwards. So, but boys doing class. I always think that's I think we've ended up having a better squad than we thought at the start, because players have got opportunity. So Josh Rock's got a lot of opportunity. Harvey Smith's played more games than he potentially would have done because Doyley's been injured. I just think that's been kind of the positive out of the difficulty, really, which I think we're in a great place. I think the squad's ended up being deeper. We're competing against pretty much everybody. We're challenging teams, so we've got to be happy with where we're at, but also disappointment, because I know how good we can be.